Welcome, everyone, to What's New and Coming Up with Lipedema. And today we have something that is very new and very coming up, has already come up, is coming out, is out. I don't know what words we want to use here. But the big thing is that the Lipedema textbook has now launched. So, Catherine, roll us through what this is, what we're doing, why we're
Here
here.
we have it. The first ever medical textbook on lipedema. It is absolutely amazing. Okay, lipedema, principles and practice of diagnosis and treatment. And it has over 30 authors. I'm not going to go through every single author, but here's
Can I point out that
point out.
along with Dr. Stanley Roxon, Catherine and I were the editors for this book, and probably no one has spent as many hours with this book as Catherine.
Definitely
so,
true.
So she has, especially when you get this book, which I know many of you will, when you get it and you look at all of the photos and the diagrams and the tables and everything that is aesthetically interesting and pleasing, that's because of Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
That's my jam. You know what they say? My jam is the images. Oh my God.
And she's flipping through right now with all the authors. And I would say that Catherine was pretty, the one who was put all those together, touched them up, made sure that they were all good, and that the authors liked them. So that is the first thing you'll notice on the book. But I have to say, this is, as a text on lipedema, this is groundbreaking. This has not been done before.
Mm-hmm.
What is involved in this book is absolutely astounding. And it's for the clinician, it's for the person who has lipedema. It's for someone who just wants to learn about lipedema. It's someone who is going to be adding lipedema care to their practice. It covers everything, but everything that is known and how it's backed up with science and what we know that there's still to be learned. And so it talks about the future as well, about where are we going with this. It's a pretty astounding text.
And I'm going to read the dedication because
great.
Because this is really for you. Dedication to all individuals living with lipedema whose perseverance and advocacy have brought this disease from obscurity into recognition, to the scientists, clinicians, surgeons, and pioneers whose dedication and inquiry have laid the scientific and clinical foundation for understanding, diagnosing, and treating lipedema, and to the global community of practitioners, scientists, and advocates whose collaboration continues to advance knowledge, compassion, and the care for all affected. Your courage and commitment have made this work possible.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my goodness, one of the things that I found so fascinating is the co-authors. There are over 30 co-authors throughout the world. And I can go through the list, but I don't think I will. That'll be boring. But it starts with the first chapter by Dr. Michelini and Samaro. Dr. Michelini's from Rome, Italy, and Dr. Samaro is from Madrid, Spain. And what is lipedema? Moving towards a widely accepted definition. And I really want to say, starting here is the very beginning, since there's so much we still don't know, but yet there's so much that we do know. And there is just such wonderful attention to detail. And one of the things that Leslie and I would say to each other as we would go through the chapters and work with Dr. Roxon on editing was, oh my goodness, this is so comprehensive.
Mhm.
Leslie, what were some of the highlights as we were going through the editing process that you?
Well, you know how I think Lipedema Simplified has really spearheaded the holistic approach.
Mm-hmm.
And Siobhan, you were an author on that chapter, and quite extensive information on holistic approach. But I was astounded going through, for instance, like a chapter on surgery, and they're talking about we have to look at this holistically. And we're looking at the impact of genetics. Well, let's look at this holistically. I mean, this is I think that's the impact that Lipedema Simplified has had on the field in general, is that this is just kind of accepted now, that we are looking at the whole person and the person as part of a larger community. It's I think that is what astonished me most when I was going through all the chapters.
It's so remarkable. And all you need to do is go to Amazon now. It is available on Amazon. I'm going to put the title and the link for you so that you can have your very own copy to bring to your doctor.
And it's available digitally as well. And the digital copy is kind of neat because there's lots of links in there. And then you can, just link to those various things and all these different resources and papers and stuff like that. But a lot of us like to have a physical copy that we can highlight and turn the page on. So it's nice to have both options. I will tell you that this book is so dense. It's heavy. Isn't it heavy?
Yes, as you can see.
Those of you who remember having the full complement of encyclopedias, this feels like a volume of an encyclopedia. It is. There's a lot of information in here.
Well, it's kind of like an encyclopedia of lipedema. Everything you need to know from what we know right now. And I was just telling Catherine before we went live, I'm going to buy multiple copies of this to give to, there's a doctor in town that I know has patients with lipedema. I used to work with him. I'm probably going to get a copy for my current doctor so that they have it in the office. And then there's a bunch of low carb docs that I run into at these different conferences. And I just want to have a stack of here, take this, make sure you have it. Make sure you have this resource. And letting them know there's going to be more coming down the pike. So, this is just the beginning of the resources that we're working on. We're definitely not stopping here. We have a whole lot more planned.
More books to come.
Yes. But this is such an excellent resource. And I'm so excited that it's finally out.
And here it is, April 16th, 2026. It is the official launch date. Just to say, it is there is a bit of a delivery fee because, as Leslie said, it's really heavy.
Yep.
Here it is, and I just want to see where we are. Yep, we're not quite in the top 100 yet, but hopefully we will be.
Yes. And so people know, you can also order it straight from the publisher. I would only do that if I was in the UK where the publisher is, or maybe in Western Europe, because I think, getting it delivered from the publisher, there will be tariffs and stuff like that. But there it is, the publisher's website, Hammersmith. And so you can also get it from them, and then you're going to pay in pounds.
Yeah, which comes out to about what we have in USD. I checked it out. So, but at the publisher's website, you also have to pay for shipping. but you can get a bundle where you can get the hard copy, the paperback version, and the ebook as the bundle. I like that.
Which I think is worth it, because there's some things that you're going to want to be able to click on those hyperlinks and stuff like that. And there's other things that you want to be able to physically be able to turn that to that page and look at that. And
like if I were doing it, yeah, this is what I would end up doing. I would do it.
Get the bundle.
Yeah, I should get the bundle. I haven't tried it yet. Oh yeah, I did.
But Catherine, I think the story of how we were able to get to have the opportunity to work with a publisher and put together this book is really interesting. Starting with Dr. Perrin, do you want to share that story?
Well, when we have been, but everything's always a long story. Wait a second. You know, everything is a long story. All right, let me go back. I lost. Wait, here it is.
You're seeing right now Catherine's lovely desktop. I think it is the Boston landscape.
It's the Boston landscape, but yes. I'm having a hard time finding. Oh, here it is. That's because I was at Hammersmith. All right, here we are. I'm back. So we've been exploring central lymphatic dysfunction. Leslyn has become really the spearhead in discovering, along with Kelly Bell and Jen Bell, who have worked with Leslyn and me and us for a number of years. And I was sick and needed help. And I called Leslyn and Kelly, and they recommended Dr. Perrin. Well, Dr. Perrin's in the UK. So we contacted him, got on Zoom with him, and started a conversation that led to him coming to the US. He came to Boston and he trained a group of CLTs, certified lymphatic therapists, in his technique, which is groundbreaking when it comes to lymphedema. Leslyn, can you, from a clinical point of view, talk a little bit about what's so unique about Dr. Perrin?
Well, he had developed his technique specifically to work with chronic fatigue syndrome because he felt like it was an issue of the neurolymphatics. The lymphatics of the brain and spinal cord were not flowing correctly. And so he has, over the last 35 years, done a lot of research, a lot of experimentation, and has developed the technique, both manual technique, exercises, self-care activities, and what the practitioner should do. He's developed this that is very successfully managing people with chronic fatigue. He's then said, wow, it works for long COVID. And then we came to him and said, well, how about with central lymphatic issues? And he felt, well, it was a no-brainer. Of course, this would work for that situation as well. Get things flowing the correct direction, and you can manage your symptoms. And so Dr. Perrin has several books on his technique, the Perrin technique, and it was published by Hammersmith Books. And when his publisher found out that he was coming to us, and we were hoping that it would not only help with central lymphatic issues, but lymphedema and lipedema, his publisher said, would you mind writing a book about lipedema? And we'll publish it. And so that's an exciting breakthrough, because there is no medical textbook on lipedema. And Catherine immediately thought, let's talk to Dr. Stanley Roxon. And he was immediately on board. Yes. And of course, Dr. Roxon has all these contacts throughout the world of all these experts in lipedema and lymphatic diseases. And so he was hugely beneficial at recruiting these authors that we have from around the world. We have the top people that are they're clinicians, they're researchers, they're patient advocates. So they are people that Dr. Roxon reached out to, and they all said yes. They all said yes.
And so amazing, so amazing. And it's been 3 years. We have worked on this book. It was 3 years in the fall. It's a little more than 3 years. We were done with the book in the fall, and actually in the winter. And it's been in the printing process, and everything always takes longer. So it's been almost 3.5 years. Isn't that amazing, Lesson?
Yeah. And it's such an interesting process, interesting journey. I've personally read every word in this volume many times.
Many times.
Because it is amazing how many times you have to read it and see what you missed, and oh, that needs to be rearranged, and whole chapters have to be moved around, and it is quite a process, and it was fascinating.
Yeah, and technically you guys have read many words that aren't in the volume, because I know at least for my chapter, it was like 3 or 4 times as long than it is in the final version. And you guys were the work that really got it edited down to what it is now.
But I have to say, I mean, what Siobhan and Dr. Carmody did for the chapter on the holistic approach, it will be the template for a companion book that will be coming out also about lipedema, because this really is a guide to treatment and self-management using the holistic approach. It is, Siobhan did an incredible amount of work for that, and it will be preserved into another volume.
Yeah, and now you guys know what happens when I'm told there's not a word limit. I asked, I was told, yeah, there's not a word limit. My English teacher in high school made the same mistake once. It was like supposed to be a 2-page short story, and I was like, is there a word limit? Can I go over?
Okay.
Like, no, it's fine. And I turned in like 20 pages.
Are you guys
skipped over this book? We got to talk about this book as well.
Yeah,
go ahead,
Catherine. This is the next one up.
Okay. So Siobhan had written so much that it spun off into the workbook, which will be coming out. But this is a version for patients, Voices of Lipedema, in her own words. If you're listening and you have lipedema and you have a story that you want to share, we are looking to include different stories into the book. And this is being written and edited by Siobhan Huggins, Dr. Joanna Dudek from Poland, and yours truly. And Lesson, you're doing a contribution. You're the only other one that we've asked to contribute. So we'll put you in here somewhere.
Yeah. It's just as a contributing author. You guys are the main people.
Yep.
And this actually, this is the Voices book has been a concept that you've been looking at for probably a decade, Catherine, don't you think?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
This book has had an outline written since 2013.
Yeah.
Which is like almost 12 years ago. And so what's interesting about it is hanging in there long enough so that it could actually happen, which blows me away, actually. That's really what it just, the whole thing blows me away.
Yeah, and I think this is the ideal time to be working on it, because now we have so much exposure, not just in the local US community, but across the world in terms of what people are talking about at the Congress and all this type of stuff. of what are the forefront issues that the patients are really thinking about in their day-to-day life,
Right.
and what do we know about it. And we know a lot more about it than we did certainly since 2013, but even compared to like 5 years ago, we have so much value that we can share with people. So yeah, I'm really excited to start working on this. And then we have yet more coming. Like I said, we have so many more resources in the works.
And this, the Lipedema Handbook of Diagnosis and Treatment, Guidelines for Clinicians. And this is Dr. Roxon, Leslin, myself. We have to add additional editors, Dr. Matthew Carmody, Siobhan Huggins. It's really been a team effort, and there's more to come.
Yeah, this is so what Catherine is hugging to herself is the, like Siobhan said, the encyclopedia. But when we get the handbook out there, that will be the desktop version, the go-to resource book for the clinician. Basically, I got a patient coming in right now. What do I need to consider? What should I be doing? What's my next steps? That's going to be a quick reference book for that.
The
Yes.
Cliff Notes version.
Yes, yes.
Diagnosis and treatment for lipedema.
Yes, but also as detailed as it needs to be for a physician to do everything that they need to do. So in terms of
Right.
when diagnosing, how exactly do you palpate someone? What types of questions do you need to be asking? All the types of things to help them be more confident in their diagnosis, because the barrier for doctors diagnosing is usually not that they don't want to, it's usually that they're not comfortable doing it because they only want to do it when they're sure that they can give the right diagnosis, that they
Right.
know what other things to check for. And this should be helpful for that. And then also for the treatment, because another barrier can be they don't want to diagnose until they know what to do about
Right.
it. So it's
Right.
like, okay, here's both all in one book.
And that is a key point that came up at the Obesity Medicine Association conference that was just held last weekend in San Diego, California, is that many of the clinicians that I talked to felt pretty good about making a diagnosis, but just what you said, Siobhan, they don't want to diagnose the condition and then not have anywhere to send them to, not have some next steps. And so they're particularly interested in the treatment and management. What do they need to know? What should they coordinate? What should they follow up on? That is a key part of care for lipedema.
Definitely.
And what you should be seeing now is the website. I put the link there, learn.lipedema-simplified.org/textbook, where you can, if you haven't already ordered your textbook, you can order it here. But I know many of you have already ordered it. And so if when you get the book, when you order the book, you get bonuses. So you get an extended Q&A. We are having a official book launch on May 1st, and it is going to be with
With a lot of the authors from the book.
Yeah. So let me go over it. So it's going to be from, I think it's 11 to 5. And during 3 to 5 of that day, here it is. It's going to be a masterclass, and everybody is welcome to the masterclass between 11 and 3. And those who've purchased the book get to come to a premium access Q&A with the authors and us. And you also get another bonus, which is Editor's Choice Webinars, Essential Courses in Lipedema Care. And the way that you get that is just you purchase the book and then just register here. Your name, your email, your order number. There's an order number on where you purchased it, either physically, if you get it at Barnes and Nobles or whatever. But here you can purchase it online, which is where most people are going to get it. There'll be a order number. You just put it in here and the country you're coming from, and you get the bonuses.
Mhm.
And then you can get instant access to all the premium benefits as well. So
So
here,
someone who already purchased the book, pre-ordered it long ago.
yeah, all you have to do is put that in here. If you pre-ordered the book, there would be a confirmation number with the pre-order.
Okay.
Or if we had an invitation opportunity, which is if you made a donation to our research fund, you would get a copy of the book. And all you have to do is put that in here. We have a list of everyone who did that donation.
Mhm.
And here are, oh my God, look at this. This is
This is
amazing.
like a who's who in lipedema right here.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, point out a few of them, Leslie.
Well, Joanna Dudek, Matthew Carmody, Stan Roxon. I'm trying to read their names on there. Dr. Stutz, Dr.
I'm
Mich.
looking for you. Oh, here's Joanna. Joanna's right
Joanna's
here.
right there. Yes, yes. Isabel Forner Cordero, Dr. Shingala, who in his 80s is still practicing in Germany. There's
Here's Dr.
Regard.
Samaro
Yes.
and Dr. Michelini. And
Uh-huh.
this is Christiana Gordon from the UK.
Yes.
And these are from surgeons from Italy who were groundbreaking in the techniques that they use. Here's Dr. Cheyenne, who is a surgeon but also a researcher from Australia.
Dr.
And
Gabrielle Ferber from
yeah,
Germany.
right here.
Mhm.
And Dr. Crescenzi, she's
Mhm.
at the University of Virginia, I believe,
Mhm.
with Dr. Al Gaban, and they're doing research and diagnostics and MRIs with
Mhm.
lipedema.
Kate
And
Forster.
Kate, let me find Kate.
She's in the bottom right
Yeah,
corner.
there's Kate.
Yeah.
And then there's, oh my God, there's just so many. As you can see, we literally have folks from all around the world. Here's Dr. Pia Ostegard, who's done groundbreaking research in the genetics of lymphatic disorders. And
Mhm.
here's the table of contents on this page so that you can get a deeper dive. But the real truth is, order it. As
Mhm.
soon as you order it, come to May 1st, make sure it's on your calendar.
Mhm.
And you don't have to wait till May 1st because starting in just 3:30, 4:30, an hour and a half, we're
Mhm.
kicking off our yearly conference. The Heart to Heart virtual conference kicks off at 5 p.m. in an hour and a half from now. And I'm going to show you that. Why don't you guys talk about it? Because you guys, this is your baby.
Yeah, Siobhan and Carrie Reedy and I recruited the speakers for the event. Siobhan, you want to talk about a couple of speakers that we're having?
Yeah. So I'll be one of the speakers, and really, I think one of the things that inspired this event in particular is that we had written a paper about therapeutic carbohydrate reduction for lipedema, and we wanted to be able to dive deeper into it, but then even beyond what we hadn't been able to cover in the paper, like one of the things that came up was, oh, what about gut health? And we didn't really feel like gut health was within our wheelhouse. But for this event, we have Brian Linskis, who's going to be talking about gut health. And then we'll also be talking about metabolic psychiatry and what nutrition can do for mental health. We'll be talking about the basics of therapeutic carbohydrate reduction and what that even means and what the point of it is. And then also, how do we tool that specifically for lipedema? And yeah, there's going to be so much. We're going to be talking about thyroid. That's a big thing with lipedema in terms of around 30% from 2 different studies seem to have hypothyroid. So we'll have Amy Berger talking about that. We'll be talking about fasting with Megan Ramos and how that can integrate into care. And yeah, we have a lot. Dr. Tro, we were just talking about the holistic approach. Dr. Tro is going to be talking about the holistic approach and how he uses it in his practice. He's an obesity specialist, but he's looking at a lot of similar concepts in terms of mental health and stress and sleep and all these different things. And then, yeah, we have a lot.
Let me jump in, because in addition to everything happening starting in an hour and 25 minutes now, so tonight at 5 Eastern time is when we kick off the conference. And then we have all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And because we always do bonuses, you know us for this. Dr. Amato is a surgeon and a researcher and professor from Brazil whose expertise is in lipedema. And he is one, I want to say, he's spearheaded the use of conservative care in companionship with surgery. And you're going to hear a lot about it. And that is on Monday night. And so look for that, because that's actually not within the context of the event, but it is. I mean, it's the post event, as well as Amber O'Hearn, who spearheaded the use of carnivore, especially, oh my God, years and years ago. When did Amber start with carnivore, Siobhan? Do you know?
I think at least 12 or 13 years ago, because she started when the term zero carb was predominantly used. And it was actually Amber who was one of the main ones pushing for the term carnivore, because zero carb was kind of correct, but kind of not, in terms of like, well, olive oil is zero carb, but do they recommend using olive oil? No, because it's a plant food. So, and she's done a lot of research into carnivore diets as well. And what she's going to be talking about at the post-event webinar is this concept of fuel partitioning. So it doesn't necessarily, one idea for weight gain and things like that, which could apply to lipedema, is it doesn't matter so much how much you eat, but what you do with it. So the partitioning is, if you're storing the energy you're eating, you're not going to burn it, and that will lead to weight gain. So it's in line with some work that Gary Taubes has done, for example, but also a lot of the hormonal theories of obesity in terms of signals that result in storing instead of burning. And yeah, we'll go into it very fast. Yeah. But the point being, therapeutic carbohydrate restriction and carnivore diets can both be ways, not the only ways, but ways to help with that issue if it's going on.
And I want to say that be sure to sign up for these webinars, because they are not in the weekend of the course, but after, and we're opening them up to the entire community.
Yes. Yeah. And I really like how we have a special focus at this weekend all about nutrition. We have a special focus on mental health.
Yes.
And kind of mindset stuff. as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Brett Scher, Allie Houston, talking about how diet can benefit mental health, but then we also have Tracy McBeath, how to convince your mind to change, and Vanessa Armstrong about really mindset and how to make it sustainable, how to make it stick. That it's more than just the mechanics of what foods you pick. It's how you implement it. And so that's going to be wonderful. And then you can see what Catherine has focused on right here. We have people who are advocates for lipedema, as well as patients themselves who have lipedema, and how has nutrition, how has the community support for their eating style impacted them. So some people who've been involved in the community for quite a few years are going to be sharing a little bit about their story at the event as well.
And our community is so active, incredibly active. We have 7 mentors that meet with people when they come into we have a exclusive membership group. And so we have those. And there are 2 projects that as a community we've been working on for many, many months. One is called a Medical Go Kit, and the other is End of Life Planning. And Esther and Julie will be joining me to share what it is, because we have that now available for the community as part of our membership. Wow, we've been doing a lot, haven't we?
Yes, and more to come, almost certainly.
Yes.
Well, ladies, we have to prep for the conference coming up.
The next big thing, yes.
Yeah, Leston and Siobhan will be kicking things off, as I said, in an hour and 20 minutes now. So, well, thank you.
Yes, and
thanks for being here, everybody.
And we will see you next time, and some even sooner than that.